Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Joy Plays and Build, and today I'm gonna do a park tour of my one of my favorite parks, by the way, Jurassic Tropical Paradise. Now I did a 5 episode park tour of this park, so you guys want to see that. I go in depth of some things. I even play a character. I was a tour guide, so maybe you guys find some enjoyment, some entertainment about in those type of videos. So I'm gonna leave a playlist of those 5 episodes. Today's episode, I'm gonna do a park tour, but I'm gonna explain some things, why I do this, why I did that, why I choose these type of dinosaurs. You know what I mean? And by the way, I did took off the entrance because it was getting to the point where it becomes so laggy. And if you guys are playing in the console, it is very crucial that if you have guests or anything that is so cramped into each other, like decorations or even rocks, they tend to lag. I don't know if that happens in the PC, but in consoles, I already lost 3 of my parts. So yeah, I'm a little bit cautious of how I build things. But anyways, let's go into the first entrance here. Now we have five attractions here. This is the Great Valley. Now, one thing I want as a park is to have a dinosaur once you come in. You come in, you see a dinosaur, and that's what set up the mood of what you're gonna see. And I felt like the dinosaurs that represent that is the Brachiosaurus. The Brachiosaurus is the most well-loved, most memorable, and to me at least, it is the most friendly. I felt like the Brachiosaurus is that humble dinosaur that would greet you into the park with open arms, and that's what I want in the first entrance is seeing a Brachiosaurus and a Parasaurolophus into the park. So you come in, and then of course I want, to make a little bit of plaza, and I think it makes sense to have like a hotel. Don't mind my dog. My dog is just being a dog. I don't think you heard that, but it barks. But yeah, so you see the herd of Brachiosaurus. I think that kind of excites the kids. Oh, you're gonna see some dinosaurs, and you're gonna see a lot of dinosaurs. One thing I do a lot in this park is to play with the terrain levels, and I think that's one thing a lot of players neglect a lot is playing with some of the tools that we have here. Now, of course, we only have like 4 options, but the way that you could create things makes your more experience and more playable experience, like longevity. It keeps you playing even more, especially how like it is your type of creativity, and you could build so many exciting things. So this is part of the Great Valley, and here is a tour ride. I think this is the only tour ride. I have no idea. No, no, no. There's another tour ride after that, but the tour ride at the Great Valley is, I got this inspiration from The Land Before Time. If you guys play the Great Valley, and usually right here is the more popular dinosaurs, the well-known ones like the Gallimimus, Apatosaurus, the Triceratops. That is what the Great Valley is, and I try to make it as big as possible. This is possibly the biggest attraction in the whole entire park, and I want to make it open and wide so that way you could see as many dinosaurs as you can once you get into the ride. However, there is a dense part of the Great Valley, and this is where you see the more exotic dinosaurs like Styracosaurus or Oranosaurus in here, and they mainly live like in the deeper woods. So I choose these type of dinosaurs because they're not well known, but they're rare in the case of the casual views, right? So they usually hang out here, but once you step foot from the forest, you head into the open wide area. So this is the Great Valley. I was gonna add more dinosaurs in here, but I felt like it's way too cramped, and I want dinosaurs to have the freedom to roam around without having, you know, too many dinosaurs just button heads and try to get in each other's way. That's what I have a problem with the first Jurassic World movie when you see the two kids going to the Gyrosphere, and everywhere you go you see dinosaurs like left or right, like they're utilities instead of just animal species. You know what I mean? One of my favorite zoos have like this gigantic safari zone, and they only have a limited amount of animals. Yet their space is so huge. Like they have so much um, land to roam. That's what I want. I want this one to be. It's like have little less dinosaurs, but you still get to see all of them. So yeah, so this is the Great Valley. And here is another extended of the Great Valley, and this is where the carnivores are at. I kind of make this clever idea to kind of barricade rocks. So it seems like it's still connected, but they're barricade, and I use the rocks to barricade it. So this whole area right here is still the Great Valley, but the carnivores only stay in this side of the area, and the herbivores. And you might be wondering, why do you separate them? Well, Frontier still hasn't patched the whole panic system, which means like the herbivores can still they still run away from a carnivore if the carnivore is close, even though the carnivore is not interested in hunting the herbivores. The herbivores still panic, and I still have a couple of occasions where the herbivores will panic too much, where they can't drink nor eat, and they starve or they die from hydration. Anyways, we have a carnivore here. I lost them. But yeah, if you guys remember in the first episode, this was used to be the Alamosaurus and Parasaurolophus habitat. But I changed it because I felt like the habitat is way too small, especially with a gigantic sauropod. Okay, so here is the Monolophosaurus. Now, these are the Camp Cretaceous version, I believe. I get confused, um, the Monolophosaurus and Proceratosaurus, but these are the Camp Cretaceous ones, right? So yeah, so the Monolophosaurus are the dinosaurs I hardly use in the pack, so I'm really excited to use the Monolophosaurus in this park. And I also have a gigantic carnivore somewhere in here. Oh, they're here. So they're hiding right now, but the Acrocanthosaurus. I remember when the Acrocanthosaurus first debuted on the trailer on the first game, and people were hating on them. They call it droopy and all that. I actually like the design of the Acrocanthosaurus, possibly the most underrated design ever. Granted, though, I will say that they should make the hump a little slightly bigger just to differentiate the other carnivores. You know what I mean? Because it just looks like a smaller version of Tyrannosaurus Rex instead of looking like a Carcharodontosaurid, right? But other than that, I felt like the design is really good. So yeah, so this is where they stay, and there's some occasions where you have a Acrocanthosaurus will like chill here, and then you have the Edmontosaurus chill here, and if you get the good like picture, it seems like they're in one habitat. I try to catch one and take a snap of a picture, but fortunately though, like I can't control the dinosaurs. So that's the Great Valley. And here's where I play the terrain a little bit. So I lower the terrain in this part of the section. So if you notice, this is the default terrain. This is where you start when you pick the park. The terrain starts from here. So I play around with the terrain and lowered it a little bit. And what I really like about this section is that the shade that the mountain has give. It makes the color and the texture and the tone, in my opinion, old school. And I think what I mean about that is that it reminds me of another old game, Operation Genesis, where it kind of had the same texture and tone of that game. Granted, I never play Operation Genesis, but I watch a lot of videos, especially best in slot videos, and whenever I see this part of the section, it reminds me of Operation Genesis. So this attraction here is called the restricted area, and I want an area where you only have to go into a Jeep tour to get into one one area into the other side. And the only reason why, because the wildlife is here is very dangerous. They have dangerous dinosaurs, and that's what I wanna make. I wanna make an attraction that has dangerous dinosaurs, and you can't go in there. These are basically wild dinosaurs, by the way. Like, well, technically, they're all wild dinosaurs, but these are like in another level. You know what I mean? So one of the dangerous dinosaurs that I thought of before making the restricted area is the Therizinosaurus. Here's our butte hiding. As expected. I felt like these dinosaurs should be hiding. They don't want to be seen. But the Therizinosaurus is the first dinosaur that pops up in my mind when I think of, wild, dangerous dinosaurs. But there are also some exotic dinosaurs that I don't use, and that's how I pick my rare dinosaurs. If a dinosaur that I never use in my parks, those are the rare dinosaurs. And one of them is the Gigantospinosaurus. These guys, I hardly use these guys. These guys are so adorable. But yeah, those how I pick my rare and exotic dinosaurs, or dinosaurs that I hardly use. So this is one of the area you go in, and then you go to a ride, and then you go to another area, and then so on and so forth. But if you reach into the last area, yeah, this is where the what I call the plaza is all at. This is where people would usually like to stay around. So it's kind of like a ride, but you go in between levels, you know what I mean? It's like a scary ride if you want to think about that. Another dinosaur that I hardly use, well, I don't even use these dinosaurs right here. The Allura Titan, Nigerosaurus, and the Dreadnoughtus. And again, these dinosaurs are like rare and dangerous. So that's why I picked these type of dinosaurs. You might use these dinosaurs and it might be common for you, but for me, these are rare because I hardly use them. For the Dreadnoughtus, I use the Dominion version, which is why the Dominion version you don't see it in this park. You only see the default Frontier version. So yeah. And again, if you're wondering where are the Jeeps, well, I closed the park because it will start to get laggy, which again is a shame. So I felt like once you hit here, this is where everything just kind of cools down. You know what I mean? You start from the scarier, darker side, and then your final destination, you start with a bright, colorful, very lovely, very safe environment. Anyways, notice the zip line. Well, the zip line takes you into another restricted area here, and the only way into getting here is by zip line alone. Uh-oh, we have a low health. And is the I mean it's from the Dimetrodon, so at least we could talk about the Dimetrodon really quick. Now, the volcano was a request from a subscriber. Oh, I totally forgot your name, my friend. But I made a speed build, so I did give him a shout out. But he suggests a volcano with Dimetrodon. I believe it was Dimetrodon that you suggested. I'm like, okay, fine. I want to have fun with it, and I think this is a good opportunity to play around with some of the terrain. And I never make a volcano at all. This is the first time I made a volcano, and I went online and I watched videos like Evolution Square. I also watched Montgomery Rex, how they do their volcano. So this is my attempt, and I want to make an attraction with a volcano island. Like, so notice that there's water around the island. Yeah, this is like a separate isolated island, and there's a story between like there's we're in an active volcanic island, right? Isla Nublar has a bunch of volcanoes, so I kind of want to kind of like a pay an homage with that like that, but it's not really a volcano. It's not really active volcano. As you can see, there's lights. So what I do, I made this volcano into attraction. And if we go into sandbox, we go into day or night. Sorry about that, night. It lights up into an actual volcano, and this is where guests can actually see the volcano, but they could also see the Dimetrodon. And the Dimetrodon does make sense because they're from the Permian period, and the extinction from the Permade is by the cause of some hectic volcanic just all over the world. They call it the Great Dying, which is very horrible. I think is by far the most worst case of death, other than the meteor I felt. But yeah, so in this I play with the lights, and this took me, I'd say like about 3 hours, just placing the lights and the colors and the rings. Another low health. You know what I'm gonna do because it's really interrupting my video. Yeah, I get occasions where dinosaurs would like low health for no apparent reason whatsoever. I mean, there's food there, there's water there. I don't know why they kind of it's annoying sometimes. But I should have turned off the starvation and the water, excuse me, before recording. But hey, you know, we're here. So yeah, so I want to make this a little bit nice and using some of the foliage, the decorative foliage, and there's something that I do suggest you guys who are a park builder is play around with some of the different foliage. From my take, I usually use foliage that are not from the map, the default map. For example, the tropical trees. I stay away from that and I use different types of biome foliage. For example, these palm trees are from the desert, not the tropical, and the Mediterranean. I use the Mediterranean, the desert, and sometimes I use the autumn foliage just to spice up and make your park a little bit fresh and neat to see. So yeah, so that's the volcano, and right here is another park build, and this is the Amargasaurus. This is also was a request from one of you guys. I just totally forgot the name, so I do apologize. If you want to put your name out there, say, hey, I did request the Dimetrodon habitat. Just be my guest. And then maybe I could pin you in the comments so people would know, you gave me this idea or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, the original plan, however, was all of this would be lights. Like it will spew from here and then it will spew from here. However, I felt like that's gonna be an gonna crash my file. I felt, so I'm like I decided not to do that idea altogether. But the plan was it will spew here and it'll spew here and it'll spew to the lagoon. And once it goes to the lagoon, if I go in, there you go, you see the light show here. And what caused these life is from the volcano from the mountain. So since we're in the lagoon, we have Dunkleosteus. And I think this is also from a request as well. I don't know if it's from the same person. Oh, I can't control it for some reason. Let's go to camera mode. But again, if you're the one that gave me this idea, please do drop your a comment down. Say, hey, like this is me. You're welcome. I don't know what you're gonna say, but and then I'll pin you so that way, like, you gave me this idea or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so what this habitat is some sort of thermal volcanic stuff is going on in the bottom of the ocean. That's why you have these thermal volcanic decorations going on. And it's for me, I try to make it as barren and abandoned as possible. So you'll see some wreckage like ships, and you could say it caused by the Dunkleosteus, which is from the late Devonian period, by the way. So I'm so glad that we are getting creatures that are not from the Mesozoic. Another request that I have was the Majungasaurus habitat, and I guess this person wanted near the volcano. So just right here, it's a very simple build, not that hard to build, anyways. It's one of my favorites because of how isolated it is. Look, because the only way to see these Majungasaurus is by the viewing dome. And you go into these hotels right here, and these hotels will take, well, not hotels, these attraction right here. and it will take you into this dome. And if you guys watch my speed build, I had a story with that because the reason why you can't step foot here is because we have an active volcano. But I changed that story and made the volcano into attraction instead. So yeah, so that is the volcano. Okay, so let's go back today and we'll go into the aviary, and I really love this. So the because I made a story about this. So I have to figure out why the Spinosaurus is in the aviary, and then we have some pterosaurs have to be in the aviary because if you notice, we have pterosaurs outside of the aviary. So it'd probably be you guys will be wondering how come these pterosaurs or the Spinosaurus are in the aviary, and I made a story saying that. What happened in the movie The Jurassic World, these pteranodons, these specific type of pteranodons and dimorphodons were attacking the people, right? There's a lot of casualties, death, all of that stuff. And I made a story how like the Jurassic World, was it the Jurassic World, or the government or whatever were terminating these pterosaurs. So I made a story saying, okay, you know what, here in Jurassic Tropical Paradise, we decided to keep them into an aviary instead, so that way they will not harm um, anybody, And they were like, okay, sure, why we could put it in an aviary. Now, as for the Spinosaurus, I made a story going back into the Jurassic Park 3 movie, the 2001 movie, where the Spinosaurus was attacking Alan Grant and Kirby and all of them. And that broke news. It gave a bad reputation to Jurassic World, and we were like, okay, we don't kill off the Spinosaurus, but we could just give up the Spinosaurus, but in return we could keep them into an aviary so that way they don't want to attack at people. So there's the reason why we have a Spinosaurus and these pterosaurs inside an aviary, and then we have some carnivores outside of the aviary. So yeah, so that's the aviary of some of the more dangerous dinosaurs. And then we head into the mudflats, and this possibly, I think this is one of the videos that actually gain attraction into my channel. A lot of people love the build that I built, but I changed it. The last one was a walk-in exhibit, right? The last video I did was a walk-in exhibit with baryonyx. Well, I changed it now. Now we have three semi-aquatic dinosaurs. We have the baryonyx here. These are the Camp Cretaceous version. Grime, Limbo, and Chaos. We also have the Suchomimus right about here. I really love this habitat because you could see the view of the hotel. So that is really cool. The Suchomimus has the best view in the park, you know what I mean? And then we have our Pterodux, the Dinachirus, which is still blows my mind till this day that we actually have a Dinachirus. I wasn't expecting Frontier to give us the Dinachirus, to be quite honest with you. But they gave us the Dinachirus, and I'm still blown away how well done it is. The design is crazy good. So yeah, so it's modified. We also have Notosaurus here. Now, if you guys remember, the reason why I have Notosaurus here is because I want to test the rocks. Now, there's a glitch that you could place the rocks outside of the lagoon. So if you guys want to see that video, it's right there. But I took that out because I do have some problems with the Notosaurus kind of glitch out. Like they will stay in the rock and they cannot get out for some reason. And it annoys me, so I took out that glitch. It does work though, but there's some occasions though where the Notosaurus would not move, and then they'll starve to death, which it's unfortunate, but hey. So here, this one is more like I will not say a mistake. What does Bob Ross say? Happy accidents. So what I want right here is like a river ride. It was supposed to be a river tour ride. However, I decided to put some hotels here and there. So it's like you're going into the ride, let's say a gyrosphere ride, right? Going here and then you'll see some abandoned hotels. That's what this was supposed to be. However, It didn't work out that way because if you know, you cannot place the tracks in water, so you have to take some water out. But by doing so, I have to take chunks of water out, and the illusion of having a river ride, it kind of completely vanish. It's gone. It doesn't look good. So what I do instead, I make a some sort of flood environment, like a little flood plaza, and I call it the Mudflats. Well, it's called the flood, the mud flood. Wait, is it Mudflats? The flood flats, but I call it the Mudflats instead. So I feel like it's pretty cool. I don't see a lot of builders do this type of thing. This type of the entrance way is having a water. So, and it does seems like it's very appropriate, right? You're in a tropical island. Rain is gonna constantly go down everywhere. Of course, you're gonna have some, a flood. So I feel like it's appropriate. We also have some pteranodons. So this is what I'm saying is like, why do I have some pteranodons outside of the aviary and then we have inside the aviary? But now you guys know. So we move over here, and this is I gotta give a lot of praise to this park because this one right here actually blew me up a lot. When I built this park for the first time when the marine species pack came out, I only have like 500 subscribers, right? But when I post this video, I did not expect it to blow up. All of a sudden, it went up to I think was 16,000 views, and I gained 300 subscribers in the past 2 days. This right here is a treasure, and I don't want to lose this park because it has this, and I give this attraction, which I call Mount Mayu, so much credit because without this build, I probably would not be where I'm at right now. And I do thank you guys a lot with all the support that I got. But mainly, I think the reason why it blew up and people willing to watch is the monorail glitch. Now, I know Evolution Square made a video of it, but still a lot of people didn't know about it because I still have comments saying like, "Hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? How did you have the monorail in the lagoon and this and that?" And I keep telling him, "You could do it. It's not a mod." And they don't believe me. They're like, "Shut up. It's a mod. This gotta be a mod." It's not a mod at all. You could do it. And there's a video of this. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do it right now, but yeah, at the time, that's the questions I get every single time. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys even like this. To the fact where Jurassic World, their Twitter, or formerly known as X, I believe, post this park on their Twitter feed. So if you guys kind of like, this looks familiar, you probably saw it on Twitter because Frontier just posted. But yeah, so the Archelon are right here, and was the Archelon speed build. I did do a couple of changes, so you notice the walk-in Brachiosaurus exhibit is gone. I moved them right over here because I want them more space, and I want to add more lagoons. And this is where I add the Shonisaurus, which I call eggplant. The Shonisaurus. I felt like the marine species pack is a very, very underestimated pack. It's a very good pack. I just felt like it's because there's no dinosaurs, people would not like it as much. I don't know. But I put the marine species pack way high up in the list. So yeah, so notice all the terrain that I'm doing here. And again, I advise you guys to if you're going to make your park, please do play with the terrain tools. It just makes your park stands out a lot, you know what I mean? And this is one of them. So we have the iguanodon. I feel like the iguanodon really fits the tropical vibe. It does look like it belongs in a tropical environment. So I add the iguanodon. I want to add some like tropical dinosaurs. You guys were wondering, what the heck is a tropical dinosaur? Well, I don't know. I just picture iguanodon as a tropical dinosaur. In Corythosaurus, we have some Sinoceratops here, just chilling in their little environment here. And then you move into this big place. And guys remember the Alamosaurus and these Parasaurolophus? Yeah, they now inhabit this area here. Now, this is the part of the build where it starts to lag a lot. And if you guys notice, there's less detail decorations compared to, let's go all the way here. Notice how in here it's well detailed. There's a lot of decorations in each and every space. No space is filled, or each and every space is filled. And then you go into here and it's kind of barren, it's kind of empty. And the reason why is because my game starts to slow down a bit. It started to lag, and I noticed that, and I'm like, no, oh shoot, it starts to lag. I have to stop. I have to stop decorating as much as I want to. This would be a lot prettier if we have some palm trees here, some rocks, this and that. But I cannot afford to lose this park. This park brought me so many views, so many subscribers, so many people's, and I cannot. So yeah, I know it's less decorate, but trust me, if I didn't have that problem, the park would be so well decorated. But it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. Okay, so you go into the monorail and we go to the last attraction here. Yeah, it's a little barren, but again, there's nothing that I could do. I cannot risk it. You can call me paranoid as you want, fine by me. But the fact that I lost three parks already is just, I cannot take it anymore. So I wanted a Mosasaurus here. The Mosasaurus is a very iconic marine reptile. And I felt like, if you're gonna have a huge, gigantic park, you need to have, quote unquote, the T Rex of the marine life. The Mosasaurus is that one. It's the possibly the most well known, other than the plesiosaur. But you have to have the Mosasaurus, right? And I feel like you have to have the Mosasaurus right next to the T Rex. So again, I love how the pterosaurs are just roaming around. It just makes the park, I don't know, just more life. Like I said, more life. And the way to put more life is to add pterosaurs. So yeah, so we have Rexy here, our old T Rex. That's a lovely roar. It's very iconic. I wish there is the actual the roar of the T-Rex. But yeah, so this is unfortunately, this has to be the worst habitat I have ever built. And again, you could all blame it on my paranoia, I don't care what you guys would say. You could say paranoia, or you could say I'm overreacting, but I just don't want to lose this park. Trust me on that. But we could make more T-Rex habitats down the line. Don't worry about it. And then we head into the final, and I want a Velociraptor in here. You have to have a Velociraptor in your park, and this is the Velociraptor habitat. Again, it's not one of my favorites as well. It's kind of bland, it's kind of weak, but excuse me. But you have Velociraptor. It's the 1993 Velociraptor. Oh, and by the way, if you watch the video, it's not scripted. It's unscripted. All of what I said just came out of my head at that moment. So when I was doing the video, I was thinking the invisible fence, and why is there invisible fence here instead of regular fence? And I have this, reason, because velociraptors could jump over fences, which they can. So I made a story about saying how the invisible friends kinda tricked the raptors, knowing that they're not enclosed, and that's why we have an invisible fence. But all my commentary, it's unscripted. I do not script what I say. Everything comes on top of my head. Whatever I say, I say it. So yeah, so there it is. Now, we do have some scrap in the list, and one of them was this desert biome that I really want to do. I really want to make a desert habitat, and was for the armored dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus, Nodosaurus, and then we have like Oviraptors, etc., etc. However, I felt like, I feel like it's already done. I don't think I want to add any more. We have a complete park, so I scrapped it. Other dinosaurs that I scrapped is Allosaurus, Proceratosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Metrocanthosaurus. Um, no, I did add Maiasaura, right? Maiasaura is in this somewhere here. Yeah, okay. Maiasaura was the last dinosaur I added into the park, but it made it in. Who else? There's a sauropod. I forgot the sauropod's name. What was the Diplodocus? Diplodocus was supposed to be in this park, but you know what? I feel like we have a good amount of dinosaurs, and I think that just wraps up the whole park. And I just call it a day. So yeah, this is Jurassic Tropical Paradise. And if you guys don't know, we have a new DLC finally coming out. It's the Cretaceous Predator Pack. So I'm gonna make a park for that. So please do stay tuned for that. But anyways, what do you guys think of the Jurassic Tropical Paradise? I think for now on, I'm gonna make smaller parks but more detailed. Maybe that will be the case. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this informative park tour of how why I built what I do. And yeah, I'll see you guys until the Cretaceous Predator pack. And I'll do my thoughts, I'll do my builds, all of that stuff. So please do stay tuned. Maybe you could consider subscribing, liking, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next build. Thank you guys for watching.